Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, A Gentle Evening Beside Corky. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. The evening arrived quietly, the way it always did when no one was in a hurry to be anywhere else. The sky outside the window softened into pale orange and blue, and the city noises faded into something distant and forgiving. That was the moment Corky chose to stretch his front paws forward, let out a tiny sigh that sounded suspiciously human, and settle beside me on the couch. Corky was not a big dog, but he had a big presence. His ears never quite agreed on which direction to face, and his tail wagged as if it were constantly applauding the world for existing. He had a way of looking at ordinary things, like a quiet room or a half-empty cup of tea, as if they were small miracles. On this particular evening, he leaned his warm body against my leg, confident and calm, as though this simple closeness was the most important task of the day. The lamp cast a soft yellow circle around us. Corky watched the room carefully, observing every movement, the curtains swaying slightly, the shadow of a passing bird, the faint reflection of his own ears in the glass table. Occasionally, he glanced up at me, eyes bright and gentle, as if checking whether I was still there, still sharing this moment. When I reached down to scratch behind his ear, he closed his eyes and smiled. Yes, truly smiled. Dinner smells lingered in the air, and Corky lifted his nose to investigate them with great seriousness. He sniffed, considered, and then decided the evening was not about food. It was about being together. He rested his chin on my knee, breathing slowly, teaching me without words that nothing else needed to happen right now. Outside, the world continued rushing. Inside, beside Corky, time learned how to walk instead of run. As the night grew deeper, Corky became even more thoughtful. He followed me to the kitchen, his paws tapping softly against the floor like a quiet rhythm. He sat politely while I poured water into a glass, his eyes focused with unwavering devotion, as if this everyday task were a performance just for him. When I turned back, he wagged his tail once, slowly, deliberately, his way of saying, "I saw that. You did great." We returned to the living room, and Corky circled his favorite spot before lying down. He turned 3 times, adjusted his position, then sighed again, deeply satisfied. His chest rose and fell in a steady pattern, a living reminder that calm was possible. Every so often, he lifted his head when a sound came from outside, alert but not alarmed. After a moment, he decided the sound was not worth worrying about and laid his head back down. I noticed how present he was. Corky did not think about tomorrow's walk or yesterday's mistreat. He existed fully in this gentle evening. When I checked my phone, he nudged my hand lightly with his nose, not demanding attention, just reminding me that he was there, real and warm, offering something no screen ever could. I sat on the floor beside him, and he rolled onto his side, exposing his belly in complete trust. I laughed softly and rubbed his stomach, and his back leg kicked in uncontrollable joy. For a moment, the room filled with laughter and quiet happiness, the kind that doesn't need witnesses or photos to be meaningful. Corky eventually rested his head on my lap, his eyes half closed. In that simple posture was an unspoken promise. I'm here with you. You don't have to carry everything alone tonight. Later, when the lights were dimmed and the house grew still, Corky followed me one last time, making sure I was safe and settled. He curled up near the bed, close enough to feel my presence, but far enough to keep watch over the room. Before drifting off, he looked at me once more, ears relaxed, tail giving a final gentle wag. That quiet look carried so much meaning. It spoke of loyalty without condition, of love without expectation, of companionship built not on grand gestures, but on shared silence. Corky did not need to say anything. His presence was enough. As sleep approached, I realized that this gentle evening beside Corky was not special because of what we did, but because of how we did nothing together. In a world that often demands more, faster, louder, Corky offered something rare, permission to slow down, to feel, and to simply be. He dreamed softly, paws twitching, perhaps chasing joy through fields only he could see. I closed my eyes, grateful for a dog who understood that the greatest gift between humans and animals is not ownership, but companionship. This gentle evening with Corky reflects something deeply relevant to our modern lives. We are often overwhelmed by responsibilities, technology, and constant noise, forgetting how healing simple presence can be. Animals like Corky remind us that meaningful connection does not require words, achievements, or perfection, only attention and kindness. By sharing calm moments with them, we learn how to slow our thoughts and reconnect with our emotions. From this story, we can take several lessons into daily life. First, practice being present. Put down distractions and truly notice the living beings around you, whether human or animal. Second, treat animals as companions, not accessories. Their emotions, trust, and loyalty deserve respect and care. Third, allow yourself moments of stillness. Just as Corky rests without guilt, we too can permit ourselves to pause and breathe. Finally, remember that kindness is mutual. When we offer patience, safety, and love to animals, they return it in ways that quietly strengthen our hearts. Building a gentle relationship with an animal helps us become gentler humans, more empathetic, more grounded, and more capable of creating a peaceful life for ourselves and others.